people get confused between what motivation is and the weight of expectation, like the fear of failure or the shame of not being good enough. Most of us believe that these emotions drive us forward, that fear will push us to succeed, that shame will force us to change. We think that if we're hard enough on ourselves, we'll finally become the person we want to be or that we're supposed to be. But I'm here to tell you, shame and fear are the worst motivators imaginable. Not only do they fail in the long run, but they actively hold you back from becoming your best self. In this video, we're going to break down the real science of motivation, why people get it wrong, and what truly drives lasting change, and why love and faith might be some of the most powerful forces that you're not using. Let's talk about two types of motivation: scarcity and abundance. If you look at your life right now, every action you take comes from one of two mindsets. Number one is scarcity motivation. I need to do this or something bad will happen. Or two, abundance motivation. I want to do this because it aligns with who I am. Most people rely on scarcity motivation, a system that is driven by shame, fear, or external validation. Shame says, I have to change or I'll never be worthy. The fear says, I need to succeed or I'll be left behind or I'll run out of money. Obligation still fits in this same category. Obligation says, I should do this or people will judge me. And at first glance, these seem like very logical, useful emotions to have. Fear gets us out of danger. Shame tells us when we've done something wrong. They feel like they're pushing us forward, but in reality, they're keeping us trapped. Let's talk about the hidden cost of shame and fear-based motivation. This is something people don't understand about fear-based motivation. Fear itself shrinks your world. Let me give you an example. Imagine that you're running from a tiger, okay? Or primitive, right? We are cavemen, we're running from a saber-toothed tiger. Your body is gonna flood with adrenaline. Your vision is gonna narrow to the one path that you should take, and your only goal is survival. Research from the University of California found that anxiety reduces cognitive flexibility, meaning the more afraid you are, the worse you are at solving problems. Fear shuts down creativity, risks, and long-term thinking because it is locked in a defensive state. Number two, shame makes you hide, not improve. A 2004 study on emotion found that shame doesn't lead to lasting change, it actually leads to avoidance. People who have felt deep shame about their actions weren't motivated to improve. They were more likely to withdraw, numb themselves, or give up entirely. When you mess up, does shaming yourself actually make you any better? Or does it just make you feel like a failure? That's because shame isn't a motivator, it's a paralyzer. So what actually works? Let's talk about the science of abundance-based motivation. If fear and shame don't work, then what does? Studies in positive psychology show that the most powerful lasting motivation comes from emotions like love, curiosity, purpose, and faith. Barbara Friedrichson's broaden and build theory found that positive emotions expand our cognitive abilities, unlike fear, which narrows the thinking. Love and inspiration make us more creative, more resilient, and more capable of long-term success. Here are some of the motivators that actually fuel greatness within the abundance side of motivation. Love is the first one. It's the ultimate motivator. Love is rarely talked about in motivation. If you do any kind of sales, people are going to say people buy because of fear. They don't buy because of anything else. And so you need to create like what people need and then scare them if they don't have it. Love is rarely talked about in motivation. It's one of the strongest forces in human psychology. Parents sacrifice everything for their children, not out of fear, but out of love. The greatest artists, scientists, and innovators create because they love the process, not because they're scared of not doing it. People in deep romantic relationships become healthier and more ambitious, not because they should, but because love inspires them to be better. One of my best friends was just telling me, he just had a baby, and he's like, dude, my mind is in a totally different place. He's like, I just want to be the best that I could possibly be. I am so driven. I am so ready. I am so motivated because he had a baby. And he wants to love that baby. He wants to give them the best life possible. Love-driven motivation says, I want to do this because I care about it deeply. It's not about obligation, it's about connection. Number two is faith, believing in something bigger than yourself. Most people don't think of faith as a motivator, but it's one of the strongest drivers of action. Faith doesn't mean religion necessarily. It means trusting in a future that you can't see yet. It's about believing that your actions today will pay off tomorrow. Entrepreneurs have to take massive risks, and they do it because they have faith their vision will come to pass. Athletes push through pain because they have faith that their training will pay off. People overcome addiction, trauma, hardship because they have faith that change is possible. If you don't believe that it's possible, you aren't even going to try. Like if I told myself I'm going to be a basketball player, I'm going to join the NBA at 30 and I'm 5'9" and I don't jump very high. I don't believe I can play in the NBA. And because I don't believe that, I'm not going to try. I've never tried. And that's because the opposite of faith is doubt. Doubt kills motivation faster than anything. And so again, when you believe in something bigger, whether it's a higher power, a future vision of yourself, or a mission greater than you, your motivation becomes unstoppable. The gain mentality. Focus on progress, not perfection. There's a book that I'm reading right now. Oh, it's right here. One second. There's a book called The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan and Benjamin Hardy. They explain why most people are miserable. And it's because they focus on how far away they are from their goal instead of focusing on how far they've come. People in what they call the gap say, I should be further ahead. I should be better. I'm behind. I'm too far away from my goals. People in the gain focus on, look at how much I've grown. Look at how much I've learned. I'm moving forward. If we shift from a gap mindset, which is scarcity, to a gain mindset, which is abundance, it turns motivation from self-criticism to self-celebration. I've liked this book. Check it out. The difference between abundance and complacency. Because a lot of people will say, but if I don't do anything except for celebrate my own successes, then why would I push myself? I need the fear. I need the stress in order to push myself, because if I'm not afraid, if I'm not stressed, I'm going to become complacent. I'm here to explain why celebrating yourself doesn't mean settling. A lot of people hear about the idea of abundance-based motivation, where you act out of love and faith and self-alignment rather than fear or shame, and they automatically assume that it means complacency. They think, if I stop beating myself up, won't I just become lazy? If I celebrate my progress, then I think I made it, and won't I just stop growing? Or even, if I accept myself as I am, that means I'll lose ambition. Here's the truth about abundance and complacency. They aren't the same thing. In fact, I would say that complacency is stagnation, where abundance is expansion. Complacency says, I guess this is good enough, I don't need to try. Where abundance says, look at how far I've come. I'm so grateful. Imagine how much further I can go. Complacency is stopping you because you're comfortable. Abundance is growing because you're fulfilled. You don't want to stop what's fulfilling you. The reason people confuse the two is because they've been conditioned to believe that pain is the only way to grow. And if they aren't miserable, then they aren't trying hard enough. Or if they aren't miserable, then they won't try hard enough. But I want to break that myth, because self-celebration actually fuels success. Harvard researchers studying habit formation found that people who celebrate small wins are significantly more likely to sustain long-term motivation. Wild, right? Why? Because your brain reinforces what you reward. If you punish yourself, scarcity, for not being perfect, your brain learns that effort isn't worth it. But if you celebrate your progress, your brain associates growth with positive emotions, and you naturally want to keep going. A lot of people confuse self-acceptance with mediocrity. But true self-acceptance isn't about stopping where you are. It's about starting from a place of strength. It's like saying, I'm not perfect, and I like myself anyway, and I'm ready to keep going. When you approach growth with abundance, you're not climbing out of a hole. You're building a foundation. Striving without self-criticism. How do you stay ambitious without falling into scarcity? Number one, I would say set goals based on expansion, not lack. Scarcity says, I need to succeed or I'll never be good enough, where abundance says, I want to succeed because I love what I'm becoming. Instead of setting your goals to fix yourself, set goals that excite you, challenge you, and align with your highest self. I really love working out and fitness, and this is something I've seen in people in general and including some of my clients. People think, I hate my body, and that's why I work out. And I guess that is one way to look at it. I hate my body, and if I hate my body enough, if I shame my body, if I fat shame and all the things, then I'm going to be motivated to work out. I don't think you should shame yourself into working out. I think you should work out because you love your body. I like to say, okay, well, if you don't love your body, Can you be grateful that your body is working? Can you be grateful for a pumping heart, for working lungs? And all you want to do is make sure that that heart stays pumping and that your lungs start working because you're grateful for your body. I work out because I'm grateful for my body. Turns into I'm working out because I love my body. Number 2 is measure progress, not perfection. People in scarcity motivation measure their worth by how far they are from perfection, where people in abundance measure their success by how much they've grown, like we talked about in the book The Gap in the Game, right? Shifting your mindset from what's missing to what's improving makes success feel rewarding instead of like an endless chase. Number 3 is enjoy the process of growth, not just the outcome. Number 3, enjoy the process of growth, not just the outcome. Complacency is about being stuck, where abundance is about loving the process of growth. If you find fulfillment in learning, trying, and evolving, you don't need shame or fear to push you because you're pulled forward by inspiration. So growth, remember this, growth isn't about hating where you are. If you only believe motivation comes from dissatisfaction, you're never going to allow yourself to feel fulfilled. True success comes from when you say, I'm proud of who I am today, and I'm excited to see who I'll become tomorrow. That's the difference between abundance and complacency. One keeps you small and the other helps you expand. So don't let fear of celebrating mediocrity stop you from appreciating your progress. Okay, so let's talk about how to switch your motivation. Let's talk about how to actually switch your motivation in 3 steps, okay? First off, step 1, I would replace should with want. Every time you catch yourself saying, I should do this, ask yourself, do I actually want this? Does this align with who I am? Am I doing this out of love or fear? If the answer is fear or obligation, then reframe it. Find a reason to act that's rooted in excitement, curiosity, or purpose, or even just growth. Because if you genuinely don't want it, and you genuinely don't want the results that it's going to bring, you don't want it and you don't want the results, don't do it. Number 2 is shift from avoidance to aspiration. Instead of thinking, I have to do this, or something bad will happen, try, I get to do this because it's going to make me stronger. I want to do this because it aligns with my values. This challenge will help me grow. Way better than I should do this because it's expected, okay? Let's talk about that. Fear of social repercussion. Why I should isn't a good motivator. A lot of the time when we say, I should do this, what we really mean is, I don't want people to judge me if I don't do it. We fear what people will think. We fear being rejected. We fear enmity, the resentment, or the disapproval that others might have towards us if we don't meet their expectations. I was just talking to my sister about this the other day, and she said, I don't want fear or shame to be my motivator, like you said, but I think that fear of judgment or enmity is actually a huge motivator for me. Because if I don't do what I should do, I fear that other people are going to, the enmity that other people are going to have towards me. And I told her, because I was like, this is a tough question, because I don't want fear or enmity to be your motivation. She's like, fear of enmity is my motivation. I said, okay, just because you don't want people to resent you doesn't mean that fear is the right solution, because you're never ever able to control how other people are going to react to you. So if your motivation becomes a fear of judgment, of their disapproval, or of their resentment, then you're always going to be at the mercy of other people's opinions, right? You are a victim to them. You're like, I have to do this because I'm scared of what they're gonna think. Don't be a victim. Don't worry about pleasing everybody. Do what you can to be true to yourself and not to be a jerk in society. You get it, right? You get it. Okay, true motivation, this is a piece of this, is that true motivation doesn't come from avoiding social discomfort. You can't build an authentic life if your actions are always dictated by what keeps people comfortable. Instead of fearing judgment, focus on embodying your values. And when your motivation comes from within, you're gonna find the right people and the right opportunities and the right direction without living in fear of how other people perceive you. Now, this isn't necessarily the same as other people motivating you. There are some times when, for example, making videos. I had a client who asked me almost every week, she was like, why haven't you made a video this week? And I'm like, man, making videos is tough. It's a lot of work. I don't like doing it. But I think she was right. And so it wasn't that I started making videos again because I was afraid of her judging me. It was because she was right, and making videos does align with who I am. So that doesn't mean just ignore everybody's opinions. It means if it doesn't align with you, then it doesn't align with you, and don't worry. Number 3 is build faith through action. Faith isn't just believing, it's doing. Faith without works, right? If you don't believe in yourself, prove to yourself that you can follow through. Start building faith. If you're afraid of failure, take a small step forward. If you're stuck in shame, show yourself some compassion and move forward. Compassion's huge. I can't even emphasize this enough. So many videos. Okay. Faith grows every time you act despite uncertainty. So here's some final takeaways. Choose love over fear. So at the end of the day, this is your takeaway. You can choose fear, shame, and obligation and let that control you. You can live your life running from failure, trying to prove your worth, and always feeling like you're not enough. Or you can choose love and faith and purpose as your motivation. You can pursue what excites you. You can build a life that's not just about avoiding pain, but about creating something meaningful to you. The greatest motivator isn't fear. It isn't shame. It is love. It's the belief that you are meant for more. So which one are you choosing? Anyway, feel free, do all the things, like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to have a discussion in the comments. Anytime somebody comments, I do respond. Right now, this channel is small enough that it makes it easy. So yeah, feel free, leave comments and I'd be happy to respond to them and we can start a discussion on motivation, and I'd love to hear it if you disagree because yeah, I want to help more people. You're awesome.